Remember that contract we were on? Nobody believes me.
You talking about the motherfuckers? Like, what were they? They were
very nice people. Well, their mom was the sweetest lady. But yeah, just as far as like just the aspect of the game plan we had to come up with on the fly and just seeing it through was the most crazy in 3 seconds. And it worked.
It did work. It felt like we were in a live action movie for sure.
That joke was crazy, bro.
It doesn't make sense. I want to believe that there's nobody silly enough to hire people for protection and then entice the person that you wanting us to protect you from, and you giving him the locations? Like what?
Real
part of the
quick.
game is this, coach? Wait a second.
Real quick.
What happened to the element of surprise or just the fact that
surprise.
we ain't trying to be with the dude? Like what just happened?
Real quick, man, before we get too deep in this joke without even explaining to these people.
Oh, my bad.
Why don't you
Right.
It's all good, trust me.
Right.
We had to give some background to let you know that you're valid and you're capable of some of these outlandish claims that we're talking about. Why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself, what you about in relations? Jose Figueroa, go.
Yeah, so I'm from the Bronx, New York.
Bronx, BX. Mm-hmm. We got a big pun question for you later.
It was dual service, Army, Navy. Navy, Army, I should say. Weapons instructor for Triple Canopy. And yeah, so I did some contracts with them. Did some private contracts after that. I don't even know if I should name drop.
No need. We ain't those people, bro. But when we say like we did, he did contracts, we were on a contract. Like he was an ex-contractor. That's basically the gist of this thing. It's not just two dudes doing random stuff like adventures and
Yeah,
like, we're not the A-team and shit.
Contracts.
You know what I'm
That's what I
saying?
should say. Yeah, I need defense
so
contracts.
during one of these private contracts, that's what we were talking about.
After all
the defense contracts, after separation from the military,
I'm not John
after
Wick.
all those things, we're not John Wicks out there.
Nope.
But it was a private detail for a, and he needed some help with it. And I've done security work in the past on a very smaller scale than he has, but I'm smart enough to do what he says, and I'm smart enough not to be dumb. So he brought me with. He was nice enough to bring me with him on a contract, and it was pretty outlandishly silly.
It was very silly, man. I don't even know, bro. It still doesn't even compute the fact that we got the contract. It was alley-ooped by another client. That's what it was. It was a client's daughter that offered the services or suggested the services. That's how we came into contact with these people.
Mm-hmm. And we ran the contract, and long story short, not to put anything out there, but the principal that we were in charge of minding and keeping safe was leaking details about her location and her going about things to the person we were trying to keep her safe from.
Yes. I don't even smoke cigarettes, but I smoked cigarettes that day.
You smoked a lot of cigarettes that day. So we were given information that person was coming to the location, and we had to extract the principal before that could happen.
Correct.
But the principal was being extremely difficult, obviously, because she wanted to get found, and she was very obstinate in what we had to do, and there was not a lot of control of the situation at the time.
No.
So we had to formulate a plan that seemed reasonable to trick her into leaving the area to another safe house where we could then keep her safe with no location, take her communication away from her so that way she couldn't access it to do it again. But the game plan came together in about solid 20 minutes.
Solid 20 minutes, yeah.
And
Excellent.
we wound up executing, everybody was safe, everybody got done, and the contract ended when it ended, So, yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Interesting to say the least. I mean,
yeah.
Still, how many movies have you seen where that didn't happen like that? Like the outcome was
really terrible. I thought it was going to be really terrible too. And then she just agreed on it. And I was like, okay, let's all move really quickly before anything changes.
Yeah, if you didn't say that, you know what? Hell yeah, give yourself all the credit. Because you're the reason she got out the fucking condo. Because she was not leaving that condo.
She was kind of like a recluse.
It was the weird. Well, she went out for some damn Del Taco, whatever that shit is, Jack in the Box. She didn't fucking hesitate to do that shit. I gotta get breakfast. And she just fucking took off. I'm like, come on, man. Why are you playing with us? And then you want to text us when you get there. Do you want anything? Why'd you leave? You clown? Give it the fuck. We'll get this shit. That's why we here. We getting all this.
It was an interesting
Your mother's
time.
hard-earned money.
That was an interesting time.
We trying to look out. We try to keep shit low key, and you doing everything you can to be loud as fuck for no reason.
She didn't want to be protected. She wanted to go back and live the different lifestyle.
Mouth. I just
you can say what the fuck you want to, bro. But I think that also goes back to like, and the other reason why Jose.
You gotta edit that shit, bro. You can't give all the names.
Governments. We'll be like, oh, blah, blah. Redacted, heavily redacted. But
heavily redacted.
Heavily redacted. Jose, heavily redacted.
Man, I'm so tired of hearing that. Yo, every time I hear that shit, I go, man, wait a second, time out. This shit public knowledge and it's redacted? Do you hear what you just said to me? The fuck you just talking? What did you just say?
You got redacted.
Get the fuck out of my face, bro.
They practice that with the JFK stuff, bro. They had a lot of practice with that joint.
Why isn't anybody else getting upset about it?
Because no one.
Am I tripping?
Oh man,
Come on, son.
Man, you got me telling these truths, bro. Because no one.
Come on, family.
I don't know. Well, let me put it as delicately as I can put it. They're in the business of deception and confusion, and we're in the business of figuring out what to actually believe. I think that's as eloquent as I could put it. And the minute you start thinking that the bad guys aren't bad guys, it's when they're winning.
That's a wrap.
You know what I'm saying? The greatest trick, what was it? The greatest trick the devil ever plays, convince a man he didn't exist?
How is that so prevalent right now?
Because it's
real.
Whether what not you believe, what religion you are, like the bad is prevalent. The true bad is in the world right now.
It's crazy.
And the sad thing is that I think we get distracted by that bad, and then we start attacking each other for no reason. Like the gig is staying together. Like when we were coming up back in the day, whether you were black, white, Puerto Rican, all this stuff, the only thing that matters is if you were in the neighborhood. Were you from the neighborhood?
Yeah, two white dudes.
Were you from the block? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing that mattered.
Yeah, if he wasn't from the block, it was a rap.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Something's going to happen.
So there was a
bottles getting thrown out you or something.
So there was no like, oh, that dude's Puerto Rican, I'm not messing with him. That dude's from my block, I mess with him. So like, what happened to the point where we all rallied as people of the relatively the same socioeconomic status, and we rallied, we had town hall meetings, we cooked for each other, we took care of each other, we housed when we needed housed, we kept people safe when they were in bad places or sick. Like, we've gotten away from that because we've been distracted by this big overarching thing that says we should be otherwise. I've known you for the better part of, 25 years now? Mm-hmm. Let's say 22 after Dad passed. I think that's really the inception. I was thinking about this the other day. When we were talking the other day, I don't think we really started meeting until we started going to Rogers and started boxing together. Mm-hmm. So that was right after Dad passed. Because if you know Tony,
Tony before that shit.
Because you knew Tony before me, remember? Because you thought all the stories that you had for Tony were my stories.
Correct.
And they weren't my stories.
God, you guys are the opposites. Because looking at him, there's no fucking way that this is.
So I have an
older. And then come to find out, he feels like he is that guy. Because I felt him. No homo. I'm just saying. I felt that shit.
No Diddy.
No Diddy.
That's what the kids say. Shout out the producer. Pause. But yeah, so just to bring it all back, I'm sorry. I think that right now is the greatest time for us to get back to our roots as neighbors, as people, as being neighbors, as tribes that are adjacently growing up, living together, the whole 9 yards. But instead, we are all these distractions that they want to keep us distracted and separated by, so that we can't really get ourselves together and pay attention to all this bullshit that they're putting in front of us. Yo, you know there's aliens, and they went on the news. Remember it was during COVID? We were laughing about it the other day. They're like, oh, by the way, Trump had just did some fuck shit. And they were like, oh, by the way, there's aliens. Back to you, Barbara. And I looked at you, and I was like, yo, you know it's bad. You know it's bad when they're giving up their secrets that they've been holding on for years just to distract from the other bullshit, bro. It's crazy.
So, what is it? You got the Anunnaki tribe. Everybody's talking about as of last couple years, 3 years.
That's that Joe Rogan shit.
John
right?
Graham Hancock. Yeah, that dude's a beast. And I see how he got played out when he found some shit, and he found the association of different things, specifically the Anunnaki tribe and how it relates to the religions. So I'm about to butcher this shit, but anyway, the fact that he found this information, they shitted on him, right? So he had a choice. Either continue to talk about it, which he did. That's how he went back on Joe Rogan about it. Mm-hmm. Or do the other thing, which is panic. That's only one situation. Then you have another situation. You have something going on at home that nobody knows about. You're trying to keep it secret, whatever. Doesn't matter. It could be something that's not secret, but it's a problem at home. Mm-hmm. Then that's situation number 2. Then situation number 3. You got this fucking person on TV saying all types of random shit. So your sense of awareness, all of your levels of awareness is heightened. So your central nervous system is just going and going and going. So which is the fight or flight. So Hancock decided to fight. He went back on TV. He didn't fight. He didn't go away. The other person is like, fuck, I don't know what to do with my problems and all this shit at the house. Well, if you got enough shock going through your central nervous system, there's a chemical that gets set off the first time, the second time, the third time. It's going to keep going off. So if your body is learning this habit, just like muscle memory, you go to the gym, they say, oh, you missed 10 days, just go back in there, bro. It's no problem. It's going to come right back. Same thing. So you got this drug just hitting you nonstop. And now you got something in your face that doesn't make any sense at all. How many times Kamala Harris, I don't care if you get mad,
because she's a regular subscriber.
You know what I'm saying? You made me mad with the law you did, the law you passed back in 2015. I don't appreciate that. But you did, excuse me, not pass the law. Taking those crops, that was rude. You shouldn't have took those crops. You shouldn't have ordered that. It's rude.
It was a bad thing.
It was rude.
You want to tell people what you're talking about?
So there's a guy, Daryl Cotton, awesome dude. Awesome guy. He's a grower. And he had flour that was prescribed to patients. And all of a sudden, not just him, it was a bunch of other people, got their crops taken away, their medicine, their patients' medicine taken away. And why I'm saying is patients' medicine is because it had their name, it had their medicinal marijuana identification number on it. So they weren't supposed to touch that. But we all know the feds have the authority to do what they want because it's not a federally legal thing. It's only a state legal thing.
On the state level, correct.
They could have, of all the things California have stopped when it comes to anything happening over here, y'all couldn't have stopped that? Like, come on, that doesn't make sense.
There's a lot of...
It's medicine. We're not talking about immigration. It's a whole different topic, right? You let that shit fly all day. We're talking about medicine, man. The fuck you... We already got something in place for that shit. Don't we trying to... These people trying to get healthy, and I'm coming from a guy that doesn't want to do opiates.
Right.
Because that's what the VA want to fucking shove down your throat.
That is. I think it wants to be in a slippery slope because it's all follow the money stuff.
Oh, facts.
So, I mean, it's one of those things. It's
overall, it's because you just shocked. Yeah. So when it's time to make a decision, so if we can get caught up about the blue versus the red all day, right? For what? Doesn't even mean shit. Why doesn't it mean shit? Because the top portion of both sides are the ones that make the decisions. And if you can't see that because you're dumb and ignorant and don't want to go online to see what the fucking vote was, because they tell you what they voted for, it's in your face, and you still try to tell me it's Republican versus Democrat. Yo, we have so much more in common than you think. Like that's my the
commonality
my take.
Of everything.
The commonality, bro. What?
Yeah.
Who the fuck doesn't want to love and be happy? You sound crazy as shit.
But I mean, it's one of those things too. No, you're absolutely right. It's silly. But they want it for a select group of theirs.
Facts.
Instead of wanting it for the world.
Yes.
And because they don't view the world as a brotherhood. They view it as other people and then these are my family.
Correct.
And I think that, like you were saying before, like I think when we get to those heights, it's a two-party system, which is absolutely ridiculous to me. In real life, there's no chance of a Jose Figueroa from right now with good ideas and a little bit of funding for a tour should not be heard as a presidential candidate. Once you make it through, once you get the backing of the Democratic Party, it should be an any man thing. Like if you're able to speak that game, they should be able to give you a platform, get voted on. If you all make sense on that level and you sound like good and you don't have anything crazy in your criminal history, you should be able to run too. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's just one of those things. Like until it gets to that level, I just don't respect the system at play. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like it's the best of the worst, and I don't think they give. I think it's kind of wrong to give launch codes to the best of the worst. It's kind of crazy if you really think about it, but that's neither here nor there. We're going a little bit further on topic. As far as like the point is that everyone being together, now is the time to rally as a people, as someone of social economics that's not far off from a lot of people. As far as percentage-wise, I think that's the place where we need to start from, is getting those communities back, starting with your neighborhood. Neighborhood proliferates to the city. City proliferates to the state. At least there's an uptick, or there's an upward progression of some sort to like, I think that's where the real change comes from. I don't think it really comes from being pragmatic and realistic. I don't think it comes from every 4 years voting for someone that you're never going to see in your life in person that controls all the things without giving a shit about you. I think the sphere of influence starts in your neighborhood, in your yard, in your city at least, and then hopefully you can spread it that way. I don't think it comes from the top down like that. I think that's completely...
Not that part.
I
mean, not that part at all. What does come from the top down is the bullshit. That's why you're getting shocked. Like, I mean, how many times I had to go work at the COVID site?
Oh yeah, so many times.
Come on, man. The monkeypox shit and with this nonsense about waivers. I'm like, yo, you're not listening to me. You telling me to do something I don't like. You telling me I got to say yes to this shit because this kid got sick, and you don't want to tell. You just told me how contagious it was. Your argument is that the kid's gonna get his ass whooped. I'm like, which one you want more? You want more people sick? But somebody gotta make a choice. And you telling me I gotta waive that shit? If that's my kid, how can I help my kid and console my kid, man? You sound crazy.
Right. I think that...
Is it that many bad parents out there? Like, bro, that's gonna be another example of the bad outweighs the good? Come on, that's getting so old, bro.
No, I think that's
what sells, no?
No, it is, but I think that the first point is that, like, just so everybody say, because you're making good points, it's just that I don't think everybody has our background. So when given it, for the sake of, no, you're doing great, bro. I think that it is, let's try to keep this as relative as possible. When you're given information at a job, but that information is somewhat nefarious, how do you trust them to do the right thing? Because the things that happen to you are going to also affect your family. Yeah. And they're going to trickle down to your people. So, but I mean, you bring up a good point. I mean, I think it happens to all of us at work. I think it is. There's also points in our profession where we're privy to information before the general public.
Yeah,
and then that's true. They write it off as we're trying to control the hysteria of the situation or the potential hysteria of a situation. And your way of thinking is it's like, if you're telling me that this is dangerous and then you're putting me on the front lines with this thing, how am I supposed to think that you care about me as a worker, as a person, if you just told me how dangerous this thing was and then I'm the one that has to go deal with it?
Yes, thank you for clarifying. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. None of that made any sense.
It's okay.
So
we feel each other. It's a sticky, slippery slope, and it's tough, man. I think that company secrets. I mean, especially for a lot of your line of work, things we can't even really talk about. And I don't know who's going to see this, but like we really can't talk about some of this stuff, like legit. So, but I mean, it's an interesting dichotomy, and I think that goes back to the bigger, grander point. The bigger, grander point is, what are we working for? What are we working towards? What are we doing as far as how much of us do we give to a job or a profession or a lifestyle before it becomes so toxic or cancerous to at least ourselves and our well-being that, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the line? Where do we go? Like, it's so hard to navigate, man. There's no give. The tit for tat is kind of weird.
Yeah, the give or take is real.
You know, it's
if
weird.
you get a good boss, it's great, right?
It's rare great. Though, isn't it? Though, isn't it rare?
Isn't it weird? Isn't that weird? And then I think, is it not only weird? Is it just I'm in a different dimension? Like, what am I missing? Like, is it inappropriate to send your coworker, your female coworker, a dick pic?
It is completely, yo.
When her man works at the same place.
That kind of nice. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking in not sarcasm, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. I think that's just,
like, what?
I mean,
come on, coach.
I don't even want to talk about that, Dre. It gives me like the kid said, it gives me the icks. But where's there's such a I feel like with like, especially stuff at work, the dynamics of men and women, like there's this weird moving line. And I work in the service industry. So that line is like, it goes like this sometimes, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's always definitive lines. You got to show up to work on time. You got to do this. You got to do your job. You got to stay in with the margins. But like, there's a lot of one-off scenarios. You know, you see me in a couple of them joints live, and you didn't even really come to the bar that often, bro. So it's like in this ever-changing landscape, man, like what is appropriate and what's not appropriate is still there. But then all of a sudden, people wonder why you can't send a dick pic. I'm like, wait a minute, whoa. I thought we were just doing this thing, and we were all being legitimate. And then you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that, Trent. You can't do that, Trent. Like there's still ethics and codes and things we have to live by, regardless of what time or frame we're moving through life with. Like it's staggering to me how often things like this happen, bro, to females, bro. It's kind of wild. It's kind of gross. Like, wait. Like, because I have a mother. I have a daughter. I have nieces. I have, I have siblings. I have female cousins. I'm like, and I still love the pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still love women. But like, there has to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Like, you can't do that. Like, you can't forget that these are people that have the same exact rights to go to work and make money for their family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's weird that like we're at this place now, and I don't know, maybe it's technologically, maybe it's because it's easier to disconnect life from, what you're doing. But like I talk to like my homegirls, or I'll see something like in passing from like a guy in a group. I'm like, what is happening? Like, I don't get it sometimes, man.
That's got layers, man. That's got some serious layers. It's like
maybe it's a more
core values at the base. Core values at the base of that. So if you're not living your life within your core value, you're gonna flip out, bro. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And if you mask it, you a beast, but that shit gonna come back out eventually.
But like, doesn't that make you more of a sociopath?
I don't know. There's many qualifications for many psychotic type. I don't even know if that's the proper word, but if whatever the fuck, if you're gonna label it, I think there's like a big sandwich with different recipes. That's all I can think of, bro. That shit is different sandwiches, different recipes. When it comes to the brain, man, it's a lot of
Monte
different
Cristo with the what's going on. I guess, right? I don't know. Maybe it's just a soapbox. Like, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. But like, it gets it gets staggering to me. Like the stories I hear and not to be a prude, but like the behavior, bro. And like, I really don't like, just like I said before, bro, like I stand by 70% of men on the whole. I feel like 70% of men on the whole, which is a passing grade, thank God. But like, are solid dudes. It's 30%. Do better, bro. Like, you guys look gross. you guys really look gross. Like, you guys are doing the most. Just like the 25 to 30% of women that are just like super hoodie, doing the most, trying to do anything for access and a little bit of validation and all this. Like, those respected 30% do better, bro. I'm so tired of looking at y'all. And not that I'm better than anybody, I'm not saying that, but like, let's do some throwbacks shit.
And
like,
do
better,
better,
bro. Like, everybody's tired of it. This is a lame person intervention. Like, if you ain't living right or you don't love something in your life, man, do better, bro. Like, please. Because it's just getting old. Thank you for attending my TED Talk. Anyway, as we cut through this thing, we've known each other for about 22 years.
Yeah.
And we met in Virginia after living in New York. You lived in the Bronx. I lived in Queens. Moved down to Virginia at a time where I didn't think it was that, like, popping, but, like, it was always something going on.
VA didn't make any sense.
It does. It was like the Wild Wild West back then.
It didn't make any sense. What was it? The Walmart Crips? Was that Kmart Crips? What the hell they were called? They had that nonsense. It threw me off. I was like, I know this kid did not just say that. You said what? And then they try to fight us for real at the basketball court from dude. We saw them again from Kmart on what is that? Oceana Boulevard. What the hell was that?
No, it was Virginia Beach. General Booth.
Never thought I'd see this skinny clown again. Oh, is it General Booth? Yeah. So then I see him again at the basketball court at the Navy housing.
Right there. Yeah, that was
He tried to fight. What was that goofy ass dude's name that I used to work with? Jason Hawley. And Julio runs up with his CBR. Almost hits him with the bike. It was the funniest thing ever.
I just think, like, small town.
But they was trying to cut us through. They were trying to fight us because they were Kmart Crips. They were trying to respect
Kmart Crips.
Defend their thing because I told him to go fuck himself.
Well, that's their turf, bro. They got a rep to maintain.
I was like, bro, you
blue light special, bitch.
Yeah, right.
They not up in here.
Yeah, nah, bro. That Virginia Beach made no sense.
Virginia Beach.
It was great past 30th Street. You get past 30th by the Sheridan, it was cool.
You get past 30th Street.
And that was it. Everything within there was just, it was beef. It was nonstop beef. Like, I saw some good days. Don't get me wrong. But it was always action packed for no reason. It
was always action packed, bro. That was the first time I saw like real like senseless violence. Like between the military and drunk people. It was just like like shit just like and I'm not even capping, bro. Like it just got like it was just so much testosterone, bro. Like, I was talking to my friend, I don't think you remember him.
And all them damn gyms.
All them gyms, bro. Gyms.
Boxing gyms.
Testosterone, weightlifting gyms, especially weightlifting gyms, performance enhancement gyms.
Oh, well, I guess that makes sense.
All this stuff, bro.
Yeah, I can see.
So, it was just one of the wildest places.
Testosterone.
It was one of the wildest places I've lived in, bro. We used to work security at different places. We worked together sometimes. Sometimes I worked by myself or at other places. And when I tell people we used to get in a fight every day in the summertime. Like if it was the summertime, like we were fighting every day.
Summertime for sure.
So I tell people this and they don't really believe me. Maybe it's the East Coast to West Coast thing, but what do you think is the biggest difference between the bar? Because you've seen a little bit of it. You've been in it for a hot second. You come to visit me at work in different places I worked at. What do you think the big difference between like East Coast bars, the culture, versus the West Coast bar culture?
Well, my favorite is SoCal. My favorite culture in the bars.
Oh yeah, duh.
SoCal for sure.
The Bay is cool though. The Bay is hella cool.
The Bay is cool.
The politics.
The politics, man. Yeah, you're right. It's politics because that's what fucks everything up. But if it was everybody being genuine, it'd be just like SoCal. I'm not saying everybody in SoCal is genuine, but I mean, that's any place you go. However, I feel that SoCal, that shit is just, it's different. It's so different, especially when you get good people, good minds, good common thoughts of what they want to see in the world and themselves, whatever. Mm. New York, it's a mask, and nobody sees past that mask. I think they threatened by that scene over there. So to say that New York is too much rough, I'm like, nah, I got more free drinks there than anywhere. I went to so many Irish pubs where it was like, yo, what's up? When you ask me what was truth, what was fake, what was real, what was not, that's the reason. If you get shook up enough, like you open the soda, what's it gonna do?
It's bust.
Everywhere, right? Little by little, you can get your shit together, but they, like you said, they don't let you. They just keep throwing shit in your face. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be the black person, it could be the Chinese thing, it could be the fucking, it could be whatever overseas, it could be whatever.
They keep
religions and
yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And they make these small percentage of things that happen, they make it so that it mean like there should be no bad ever. But that's not how it works. And I don't know how anybody could forget that. Now, I'm a big ass dreamer, so don't even trip. I believe I would wish for a day where there's no bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've done bad, and I wish I've never done it. But that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that they can't be good out of bad. Like all this, the pain and the beauty. What'd you say about the best dancers and all that, the singers and shit? They got the best voices, the best dance moves because they have come from pain.
Yeah. There's another level to that. Yeah. There's or even the best fighters, bro. Like the real best fighters that I've seen have been through life, bro. Any one of these fighters you ever see that look like they're a motherfucker, they have some demons and some closets and some skeletons, but like it's more of a reason to fight.
Yeah, I'll speak to that.
It's kind of crazy, but we got to actually get him on a flight. I wasn't bullshitting. He did fly up here just for this podcast. So we are about to get him out of here, man. Thank you for coming by. And maybe we'll do part 2 sometime soon. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you.